Hi class, welcome to this demonstration of how to use PowerPoint to develop charts and specifically some visuals for like an asset map or a flow chart or other purposes or uses. I have this slide here. You can see it has a decorated border. You don't have to have that. For some reason it's on here. I think I downloaded a template and it had this decorative border, which looks okay. So I'll just leave it. Um, I'm working from PowerPoint on the PC. So it'll look a little bit differently than on the Macintosh. I also have one of those, and I use that quite a bit as well. But my recording package is on PC, so that's why I'm using it. This particular computer. Okay. One of the things that you may want to do when you have your slide showing, and if you're using PowerPoint, is you can go to View, and if you add some grid lines, you can see that you have these grid lines that can help you line up items that you put on to your slide. Okay, so again, we're just using PowerPoint as a slide. If you go to the Insert menu, you'll see the Shapes menu. If you click on that, there are all these different shapes that you can use in order to develop a chart or a diagram or whatever it is that you're doing. So for this particular project, we would be doing it for an asset map. So let's use some of these shapes. Let's say I wanted to, so they have these flowchart shapes that are standard for developing flowcharts. So this says process, this says alternate process, that you have a circle here, or it's called a connector. So these are all standard shapes for using flowcharts. But then you have your basic rectangles here, you have circles, and everything else that are used just to draw stuff. So, feel free to be creative and think about, the color schemes and things like that. So let's just say I'm going to draw a circle here. If you hold on the shift button, you'll draw a perfect circle as you kind of drag it out. And um, say that you wanted to type in there. I'm going to put family in the community. And let's say I'll just list some needs. We'll say housing, we'll say food, we'll say healthcare, education, recreation. Let's just say that, okay? If I want to change my color of the shape, I will kind of go into some of these options here. I like this color here. So let's just say that, okay, so this is my family. If I want to say, put the name of my community at the top of this slide, you can use word art. You have to deselect the item, so we can use word art. There it is. I'll put this at the top. My community. So obviously you want to be a little bit more specific about which community that you're talking about. So I'm just being very generic here. And so I want to, once you do this, you can have these standard shapes over here. I think I'll use this shape to map a community asset. and I'm gonna use a different color. So let's see here. I like these lighter colors because you can read in them. So I'm gonna just put generic again. Asset 1. Here's what you can do. You can resize it. If you want to put a bunch of assets on your asset map, you can resize it. Okay. I'm going to copy. I press Control C and then I can copy. Now what I'm going to do is press Control V. If you have a Macintosh, an iMac or MacBook or whatever, you use the command button instead of Control. So I'm going to say I'm going to do 5 assets. So there's 1. So I'm just pasting here. Okay. So I did 6, that's fine. So let's line them up. And then I can just change what this is. Oops. 2. Maybe I'll be a little bit more specific. I could just say community. Oh, having trouble here spelling. So you just click on it and then you can start spelling. Center. Okay, so that's font's a little bit too big. You can go reduce the font. I'm going to change it to 10-point font there. Again, I can change the font. Okay. So there might be services around housing. There may be services around food. Say this family is eligible for SNAP EBT. It might be a grocery store. So you can see that these are all here. Maybe this, I'll make this SNAP EBT, I'll put it over here because that's what the family uses to purchase food. I'm going to put this grocery store over here, maybe because it's farther away. Maybe this family doesn't have transportation. So they may have SNAP, but it's hard to get to the grocery store. But there may be what we like to call the corner market. Smaller, doesn't always have the most healthy food, or there may be like a fast food that's closer that they usually go to. So you can just kind of arrange things on this map. So now let's take a look at our arrows. So we want you to show relationships between different elements of your asset map. So I can choose an arrow, and if I go close to this circle, these are connecting points. I'll start here, and then if I go close to this, you'll see another connecting point. Okay, so we just connected those two items. Let's make sure it's an arrow. And I'm going to connect these two as well. Okay. So say if I move this up here, it's always connected, okay? You have to make sure it snaps onto there. You can do that. Snap, EBT, goes to corner market. Let's say that's closer. in the community, but I also want to maybe do a different type of arrow connecting to grocery store. So this one kind of goes around the corner market. You can also do arrows that are more squiggly, like these ones right here. Again, just find this. Oops, let's try it again. I'll undo. Try this again. I'm gonna hold on it, and then I'm gonna come to here. Okay. So you can see the arrow kind of looks a little bit differently. So the family goes to the school. Say that the school goes to the family, or let's say there's like a home-based services program, you would change the arrow around, or maybe they go back and forth. There's some bi-directional arrows. But once you connect them and you move stuff around, they'll always stay connected. Let's say this asset is in the community, but they're just not connected. So you wouldn't necessarily connect them, or maybe the connection isn't that strong. So if you've ever done like an eco map, on here you can do the dotted, find the dotted lines. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, they need it, but they just don't really have a connection to it in the community. Or maybe this doesn't exist, it's more of an idea. So you can kind of do those types of maps. Let's say I wanted to, instead of having the needs in the circle, I'm going to actually create, I'm going to create a needs. I'm going to change the color. So let's put housing in here. Okay. Copy that. Food. Copy that. Healthcare is another need. Let's paste it again. Let's do education. Let's put that over here. So what I would do here then is I would take this and I'd connect it right there. Maybe move it up here. And then I would connect the family to the need of education. So I would take this right here, connect it to the need of food. Then I'll move this resource over here. I'll move this down here for now. We'll move these up here. Let's say the grocery store is far away, way up here in the corner. Corner market's closer. So you can move things around. Be creative. I'm not the most creative person, but I do like flowcharts, so I do like making flowcharts in PowerPoint. they need health care, and they go to the community health center. Maybe they do. We don't know. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a family. It could just be your community in general or families in the community. Since I took all these needs out and put them into their own boxes, let's make it general. Families in the community. Okay. So you can be creative. Make those connections in your asset map. You can also, why don't you put some pictures in there? By doing that, you can go to pictures. You can look at stock images that are available through PowerPoint. Maybe we can put food here. Okay, so maybe healthy food, right? Let's do this. Berries are healthy. You can insert this into there. Make it much smaller. You don't want it to overwhelm. The healthy foods over here. So you can put that picture there. And then maybe, like we said, the corner market type of food. May not be the most healthy. There we go. Let's do donuts. So I'll just kind of put that on here by the corner market. Okay. So, we got to connect the food need to okay. Going to connect those. There you go. So they're all connected. I moved that there. It stays connected. Okay, that one wasn't connected to food, so we got to make sure swing it over. There it is. Anywhere I go now, it's connected. So play around with it, put pictures, be creative, and I'm looking forward to seeing what your asset maps look like. Okay, so this one needs to be connected. So you have to make sure that those connectors, those gray circles pop up. Okay, now it should be connected. Let's see. Okay, we're good. Okay, so that's how to use PowerPoint by using shapes, pictures, putting the needs and connecting the needs to the assets. You don't have to do that. You could put your needs on one side and your assets on another side. And so it's really up to you. What I want to see is that you're thoughtful about the assets in your community, a little bit of creativity, and and also a good reflection when you write about your asset map. Tell me what you learned and reflect on it, how you might use this as a social worker, and those types of things. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful, and we'll talk to you later.